Hello everybody. This case is a mitral valve prolapse case. Now we're going to see on the TE simulator how to scan the whole mitral valve in 2D and then in X-plane and then in 3-dimensional transesophageal echocardiography in order to identify the anatomy of the mitral valve and decide which scallop is which scallop is prolapsing, which is not prolapsing. So now I have the mid-esophageal view. If you pulled up the probe like that, I don't see any mitral valve. And then you advance the probe slowly. Once you see the first scallops of the mitral valve with the aortic valve open at the 0 degrees, this is A1 and P1. In this case, there is no prolapse in A1 and P1. So 5-chamber view, 1 on 1. What's the next step? Advance the probe a little bit down, like that, to have the 4-chamber view. Once you have a 4-chamber view, you don't see the aortic valve. That means the tips here are for A2 and P2. A2 here is intact, but P2 is flail, as you can see. So 5-chamber view, 1 on 1, 4-chamber view, 2 and 2. So till now, B2 is prolapsed. Do not advance more to get A3 and B3 because 90 degrees is the view for A3 and B3. If you are planning to scan the same structure at different angles, make it at the center of the screen. Don't flip it like that. Keep it in the center and then you change the angle. Let's see. Now I will change the angle to the 60 degrees view from 60 to 70. This is Papa 3 to 1. If you remember from the first lecture, PA 3 to 1. So this is P3, A2, P1, and then the appendage. At this view, if you tilted the probe a little bit, you may get confused. Look at what will happen now. If I tilted the probe a little bit, now I can see a flail or a prolapsed segment here, which may confuse me because I know that scallop that should be here is A2. And then we agreed that it was B2, the one that was prolapsing. So what is here? The lower one, I can see two shadows here. The lower shadow is A2 in its place, which is okay. This one is the P2 scallop overriding the A2. So what will tell you which one is which is the X-plane. So if I put X-plane, as I always say, X-plane will explain it. So cut with the X-plane here at the middle scallops, and then you will get the orthogonal view on the other side. If you are cutting at A2, you will see here A2 and P2. That confirms that B2 is the one prolapsed, but overriding the A2. That's why you see it here over the A2 scallop. If I took the cursor line and put it at P3, on the other side I can see A3 and P3. And then if you put it here at P1, like that, so here I can see A1 and P1. That's a very nice way to scan the whole mitral valve in X-plane way. So start by the commercial view and then you explain it and then you get the orthogonal view on the other side. Good. So do not get confused with the other scallop. This is an overriding scallop. But the classic one is A2 here. And then this is the appendage, of course. Then I will increase the angle to go for the 90 degrees view, like that. 90 degrees is A3 and B3. They are intact. So till now, it is the B2 scallop. Then the second angle is the long axis view. Long axis view comes from 120 to 140. It depends on the patient. Here, it is strictly cutting A2 and B2. I increase the angle. I can see the aortic valve and the aortic root. Then A2 and P2. So we have two views that tells you about A2 and B2. The 4-chamber view without aortic valve open, it's an A2 and P2 but oblique cut. And the long axis view, this is the clear and the sharp A2 and B2 cut in the middle of A2 and the middle of B2. Here is B2 flail. If you are in the long axis like this view, it's a good chance to sweep throughout the mitral valve. So if I went to the right side of the patient just by turning the probe to the right like this, the whole probe, then I can see the interatrial septum. This is not the bicaval view. That's a long axis angle, but I went to the right. That's why I can see the interatrial septum. Then come back from the septum, back to the left side. The first scallops you will see are A3 and B3. These are the medial scallops of the mitral valve. The medial commissure, the posterior medial commissure of the mitral valve. That comes after the septum. So back again, septum, and then come back from the septum. The first scallops you will see are A3 and B3, and you don't see the aortic valve. And then you carry on to the left. Now it's a long axis, A2 and B2. You see a full opening of the aortic valve, and then you go more to the left, and then you see the A1 and P1, and the aortic valve is not fully open. After that, pull the probe up. Why? Because if you pull the probe up, you will see the appendage. This is the appendage, okay, after A1 and P1. After the appendage, pull the probe up again, and then you will see the two left pulmonary veins. Two left. This is the left upper, and this is the left lower pulmonary vein. Both left pulmonary veins, the upper is always here, the lower is always here. So left upper, left lower. Come back from the pulmonary veins, you will see the appendage first, and then after the appendage, you will see A1 and P1, and then A2 and P2. In this case, if you don't see it, what to do? You push the whole image. So you shift the whole image to that side. This is what I will do. I will push the whole image like that. Then I will see A2 and P2, and then more to the right, you will get A3 and B3. So this is how to scan the valve in 2D only without X-plane. Just start by the long axis and then go to the right, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, appendage, and then the left pulmonary veins, okay? What about the 3D? You start better with the long axis view. I like to start with the long axis always because it has a landmark, which is the aortic valve. The best landmark for the mitral valve is the aortic valve. And again, 3D zoom. I will click 3D zoom. Then you optimize the first box on the lateral plane image, like that, on the mitral valve, and get the aortic valve with you, okay? Don't enlarge the box too much, otherwise you will decrease the frame rate. Stay focused on the mitral valve, but get the aortic valve with you. And in the elevation plane, it is okay. The width is fine, including the whole valve. Now I'm ready. So zoom, optimize the image, and then zoom. We click zoom, we optimize the boxes, and then I will click zoom again. Zoom will give me the same orientation that I started with. So I start with the long axis view. This is still a long axis view. Aortic valve is here, left atrium is here, LV is down. So the first thing is to pull the trackball down so you can see the mitral valve from the left atrial aspect. Now this is the mitral valve from the left atrial aspect. Aortic valve is still here. Now I need to put this aortic valve at 12 o'clock position. This is the job of the rotate Z button. So I will rotate Z counterclockwise to put the aortic valve at 12 o'clock position, and here what I get. P2 prolapse, aortic valve 12 o'clock position, left atrial appendage. So this is A1 P1, A2 B2, A3 B3, and this is the septum. And this is how you get the surgical view of the mitral valve. Surgical view because this is what the surgeon sees once they open the left atrium. So looking for the mitral valve from the left atrial aspect, if you rotated the image, you will be able to look at the mitral valve from the LV aspect, and here is the papillary muscles, anterior mitral leaflet and posterior mitral leaflet. So in this video, we have seen how to scan the valve in 2D, 5 chamber, 4 chamber, long axis, 90 degrees view, and then we did a sweep on the long axis, and then we did also X-plane on the commercial view, and then we did the 3D zoom acquisition for the mitral valve. And thank you. This is not the end. I have two good news for you. The first one is this is not the only lecture in the course. We have 9 lectures explaining on a TEE simulator how to manipulate the transesophageal probe, how to control the image, how to do the normal transesophageal echo exam, and then we'll go for pathologies for the tricuspid valve, mitral valve prolapse, paravalvular leak, aortic root aneurysm, and so on. So this course is covering most of the practically important topics in transesophageal echocardiography based on TEE simulation. The second good news is this course is totally free, open access for everybody. So what to do in order to have access to these lectures? Simply download the CIC Mentor application that's available on the App Store or the Google Play. Once you sign up, create your account, and then you click these three dots from the drop-down menu, you will select Open Access Education, and then you will find the open access resources, one of them the CIC simulator based course, and then you will see all the lectures that is available now. Choose any one of them, and then immediately you will start watching the lecture. As I said, the CIC Mentor application is available on both the App Store and the Google Play. For those who have it already on their mobile, you remember to update the application, because this course is only available on the updated version. So go now to the store and update the application. And please make sure to allow notifications during the installation in order to receive the new notifications for the new courses. With CIC Mentor, be confident. You are not alone.